before we put epoxy on this wood, I'm going to wipe it with acetone. It may have an oil in it that I don't know about. Some exotic woods do. And this could cause the glue not to adhere well. I'm going to wipe it with acetone. My inner layer here, I'm going to wipe it with acetone. It's been in contact with this wood the whole time. And again, that species was Paduk. P-A-D-A-U-K. Probably Paduk. Can't forget our blade. I've been handling that with my oily fingers. Okay, I want to make sure I get the glue on the correct side of everything. I'll mix it on this coaster. Equal parts of both sides. I'm going to make sure and mix enough here. My time doesn't really start until I start swirling this together. Maybe I was supposed to cut it back here at this line. Well, we're going to set that aside for now. And I think I may need a larger paddle. And as I mix it, my circle is ever widening. I'm picking up the anything that I've pushed out to the side that's unmixed epoxy, because that will never dry. It's not mixed. Okay, that's pretty good. Take this first piece. Now I only have about 2 minutes here to mess around. So we're going to rock and roll. I'll try to keep from getting this all over my fingers. Try to put it on here evenly. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put it in these holes, because they're going to be harder to get to later. So on goes our, I want to call that a liner, but that might not be the right word. Now, I'll do the inside of this scale. Plenty of glue to work with here. Got my clamps handy. I'm ready to go. Probably running up on about 1.5 minutes here. I really wanted some 10-minute epoxy, but most of it that I saw there was a lot slower. If it was slower than 6 minutes, it was like it was going to take an hour before I'd be able to handle it. I'm going to put some on the knife blade back here where I know it's not going to come into contact with the outside. Here we go. Keep wiping this stuff off my hands. Swirl a little more in the top of the hole so that whatever pin I push in chases it through. That one's being stubborn. Where's my other pin? Here we go. And yeah, I've got a little bit of epoxy on the outside of this, but I will be grinding some of this surface off so that it doesn't ruin my finish when we're done. And one thing I'm missing, something to stop this from sticking to things. I can grind this stuff off if it sticks to it, no problem. I think I'm just going to lightly clamp it. I don't want to squeeze all the glue out. I just want to squeeze the glue into the pores of the materials. Perfect. We'll come back in about 20 minutes. It'll seem like seconds to you. And take it out of the clamp. Think about shaping it. Alright, time to take it out of the clamp. And I realize I've made a terrible mistake. I didn't re-air harden the blade before I put it in the scales. It's still very hard. I could just barely drill it. But I think I can still do that. I don't think that's a problem. So we'll do a little bit of shaping here. Get rid of the glue. Give this thing some character. Looking fine. Should I do it? Should I do it? It's forever. Forever, baby, me and you. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're getting a little closer to what I want. Yeah. Gotta work on these corners now. I'm gonna be very, very easy on that. It's gonna be a little harder to bring into shape. Now I have a router and I have round over bits, and yes, I could have done that. But I want this to have, this is a handmade knife. I don't know, I just feel like I wanted to use less machinery instead of more. More hand work. I think it's there. Oh. That's no good. Alright, I know this sander's a piece of crap. And I do have some new belts on order. They're just not here. Maybe when they get here, I'll make another knife. Getting pretty pleased with that. It's a little person be able to carve a spoon. Why, yes, I think they can. And this doesn't even have a fine edge on it yet. Alright. Wow. I didn't know I was capable. Actually, I did. I knew I was capable. I just never done it before. We're all capable. Alright. Got to reharden this edge. And I'm going to do it without damaging this blade. And I'm going to show you how. I have a piece of wet leather here that I'm going to put up over the blade. I'm letting it soak for now. And I have a wet rag here, which I may use if I get in trouble to cool the whole thing down. And I've got water here that I can continue to drip on the leather, and I can keep the blade cool here. So I'm going to cherry this up, which is the part that's going to be sharpened. And I believe this is air hardening steel. So I'm just going to let it air cool, and it should be very hard where a file won't touch it again. Okay, my leather's sinking. Put it up over the blade. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to put heat sinks on here. Got an Allen wrench and a chisel. This is basically 2 pieces of hex stock. So they can get warm and they won't be hurt. between the hex stock, between the steel and the wet leather. It's a little bit clumsy here. Between the steel and the wet leather, the handle shouldn't get hot. Oh, well, that Allen wrench is in the way. Let's turn him up so he's not in the way of the vise. Okay, we got a good hold of that. Got plenty of water on hand. Torch. Get some good moisture in here. Here we go. I can't tell you how many times I had to hold a rag on a piece of metal for my dad while he welded, so the inside of the car didn't catch on fire. Here we go, getting comfortable. Hope I don't catch my rags on fire. Pretty easy to get it cherry. You can see the blue line moving up the. Now this is a pretty tough steel. Remember, it's a reciprocating saw blade. So it can be very, very hard and very flexible. Now I'm having a hard time cherrying this area, but we're getting out beyond where it's sharpened. And I'm just basically going to work on this edge. I want to soak it good. Add a little bit of water to my leather. Edge is getting cherry. There we go. Hopefully that's enough to reharden that, if I'm correct that it's air hardening. And to soften it up required similar procedures to air hardening steel. So I think I'm doing okay there. Take a file to the back edge and see what happens. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Doesn't cut very easily, so I think I'm back hard again. I'm not experienced enough at sharpening knives to sharpen this exactly as it should be. Maybe we'll leave the sharpening to the owner. Might make for an interesting video. I've got plenty to learn for sharpening a straight blade, let alone curved blade. I know I can be good at it. I can become good at it. But I'm not yet. It's not hair popping sharp, but it ought to be sharp enough to carve with. Okay, I want to flare the lanyard ring a little bit, and what I decided to do that with was these air fittings. They have a bevel on them that I think will form that. Kind of rolling that around there. And that more than anything will keep it from cutting a cord. Take any edge off of it. I think that's fine. I think I'm going to have to declare it done. To make a sheath. Do I make a sheath for it or not? The inside of the shell, where it's been fired, isn't all that pretty. So I'm going to fix that up. Oop, wrong way. And I figured I could just spiral some sandpaper in there. Oh yeah. We're removing mass quantities of offending dark material. Yeah. Shiny and pretty. Not that hard.